I want to demonstrate this scenario, making the simplest possible modification to the sales invoice report by adding a new field first to its data source and later to the format. To add a new field to the sales invoice data source, a developer needs to execute these steps. Identify a technical name of the SSRS report to be modified. In this case, it is a rather intuitive sales invoice, but sometimes some intermediate helper steps are needed to identify the report name in AOT. Then, developer needs to analyze the report data source. It is specified on the SSRS format, so developer finds this report in Visual Studio and opens it. Under the Datasets node, all report data sources are listed. Let's say that user requested adding a field to the header area. Therefore, developer should add a new field to the dataset that is used for the header. In this case, it is clear that it should be sales invoice header footer DS, but sometimes it can be less intuitive to figure out the correct dataset and therefore requires more of a developer's effort. Developer clicks the sales invoice header footer DS dataset and checks its properties. There you can see that the report is data provider based report and the data source is created by executing the sales invoice DP data provider class, which populates the sales invoice header footer TMP report data provider table, or short RDP. From the dataset properties, developer understands that he or she needs to do the following modifications. Make an extension of the sales invoice header footer TMP table and add a new field to it. Fields should have a type that matches the expected data type based on the requirement and should be equipped by all other elements required by F&O best practices, for example, label. The preferred approach is to use EDT. Some developers' effort goes here too. To avoid the overhead, I will use a bit dirty approach and instead of creating and applying an EDT, I will specify the field type and label directly here in the field. I have named this field demo field. It will be of a string type and I will assign a sys12345 label to it. Next, developer will make an extension of the sales invoice DP class. They find a method where necessary values are available directly or through calculation, extend it, and implement a logic to fetch the required value and write it into the newly added field. If non-developers are watching this video, I don't want to scare you with some complicated code, so I will use the simplest possible approach and will assign a fixed string, some fixed text, to our new field. So, whichever sales invoice I print, this field will always have this dummy fixed value. Finally, developer will build the project with newly added extensions.